Many people with disabilities need benefits, and they need them to survive, from Social Security or private insurance companies. But in Utah, investigators have their hands full of cases in which people seek money for disabilities that may not be real. Welcome back to 2 News at 10. Brian Malahi here with a special report tonight. You'll see only here on 2 News. How big of a problem is this, Brian?
Well, collectively, Shauna, people feigning disabilities in Utah may target millions of dollars, some of it from Social Security, and much more potentially from money that employers pay to cover accidents on the job.
We've had lots of egregious cases.
The man in the wheelchair claimed a serious disability, says Workers' Compensation Fund Special Investigations VP Joel Campbell.
That he was coming out of the doctor's appointment in the chair, and then he wheels it up the sidewalk a ways, and when he thinks he's out of sight of people that would care, he gets out of the chair and pushes it, and has told the insurance adjuster and also the medical doctors that he can't walk.
WCF, the largest workplace insurer in Utah, says the man taking off the brace claimed he hurt his hand on the job, but that a doctor could find no injury.
And so he had been referred to a subsequent physician to do another exam to make sure we weren't missing something.
From the back of his vehicle, the man grabbed a sledgehammer and looked about.
And he decided before he went into the medical appointment to hammer his hand with that mallet to at least make his hand look like it was injured in some manner or infected or whatever.
So that was right before another medical appointment.
Right. He left that truck and walked to the doctor's office.
The doctor, it said, stopped prescription narcotics for the man after seeing Hamilton.
It's pretty pathetic.
In dozens of cases a year, the Workers' Compensation Fund says it discovers flagrant fraud, which is turned over to prosecutors. Sometimes there are criminal charges, and we're told, plea bargains and orders to pay back money, but not many defendants sentenced to do time.
Yes, there are people who commit fraud. I know there are people who commit fraud. I believe it firmly. It angers me, but sometimes it's not black and white either.
This man was charged with workers' compensation insurance fraud and found not guilty.
I was hurt. I was injured. I wasn't lying. I wasn't trying to get anything special. I was just trying to get treated. That's it.
After what he says was a serious back injury, surveillance showed him repairing his car. He says he was in pain but had little money, so he had no choice, and working a little at a time. Replacing a water pump took days to finish. He says the photos do not tell his whole story. We're not identifying you, but I'm looking at you, and you look pretty good to me.
I agree. I tried to go back to work. One day I could feel okay, but the next day, I'd be in agony.
The Workers' Compensation Fund says an acquittal is rare and that people in these video clips entered guilty pleas. Workers' Compensation is a private insurer that began as a state agency. On the federal level, the Social Security Administration, which has an office in this building in downtown Salt Lake, provides disability benefits. It also is a partner in a so-called Cooperative Disability Investigations Unit, operating in Salt Lake for roughly a year, which tries to stop fraud before it starts. In a recent 3-month period, the local CDI unit, as it's called, says it confirmed 42 cases of fraud or similar fault. It says a 25-year-old man cited a raft of bad health in seeking disability benefits: right atrial enlargement, sinus arrhythmia, hypertension, high blood pressure, a back injury, neck injury, depression, ADD, and anxiety. But the man, according to the CDI, has his own business as a psychic, charging $30 for 15 minutes. He also plans to go skydiving in June 2012. His claim for Social Security benefits was denied. Based on your experience, how pervasive do you think disability fraud is?
It's rampant.
This bounty hunter and former private eye estimates he's done video surveillance on roughly 20 instances of suspected disability fraud in Utah and many more in another state.
You're pleasantly surprised if you can't prove someone's lying.
Would you qualify for Social Security disability benefits?
Not as long as I'm working.
Deborah Mayer was paralyzed in a snow tubing accident when she was a teenager. She went to college, earned 2 degrees, including a master's in educational psychology. Deborah has worked for decades at the Utah Independent Living Center.
Hello.
Where she is the executive director.
You know, it's funny because I rarely think that I even have a disability anymore.
What do you make of the people who are trying to game the system or in fact have?
You know, I think it creates a situation where no one wins, because I think in some ways it could negatively impact people who genuinely need to collect disability. In a way, it's kind of shameful.
2 News reported last month on concerns of long waits in processing workers' compensation claims, and there may be waits for Social Security disability benefits too. But people feigning disability will almost certainly not speed up those programs. There are hotline numbers to report disability fraud. We have them on our website, KUTV.com.
So are we, the taxpayers, footing the bill for these people who are desperately trying not to work?
Well, in some cases, yes.
Yeah.
In Social Security, there are 2 programs, SSI and SSDI, and there are some differences between them, but essentially they both pay out disability benefits. And you're paying Social Security taxes, and so am I, and so are many other people out there. So in some cases, that is in fact happening.
And watching that video is incredible. The lengths people will go to not
the Workers'
work.
Compensation Fund provided that video at our request, and it is remarkable.